Okay, I think I should get started.
Okay.
It's 8 a.m. So good morning or afternoon, everyone. Thanks for attending today's webinar. Please remember to mute yourself whenever you're not speaking. All slides and links referenced in this webinar will be sent out along with the recording, as usual, in the next PD2Go Light Center monthly newsletter. We are ready to start with this session, facilitated by Dr. Andrea Hemphill. This 30-minute session will actually discuss how to use Kahoot for assessment purposes. So I'm going to talk a little bit about our guest speaker today. Dr. Hemphill holds a doctorate degree in organizational leadership from Brandman University, and she also holds a master's in business administration with a concentration in information technology management from Jones International University. And she also has a bachelor's of science in applied management from Drexel University. She has served as a mentor and career coach for many coworkers, friends, and colleagues, successfully assisting them in advancing their careers. So her knowledge and passion for teaching and technology and the support and development of others has been key to her successful career. So thanks, Dr. Hemphill, for facilitating today's workshop, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you for that lovely introduction. So today I wanted to share with you how you can use Kahoot to help assess, how your students are doing in your class. And so I just would like to just a brief overview of Kahoot if you're not familiar with it. The key features that you can use to review and assess your Kahoot sessions, and how to hopefully all you already know how to create a Kahoot, but I'll briefly talk about a quick way to create it, how to assign it for your students to complete, and then basically how to review the Kahoot report. And then I have a little hands-on exercise for you. So Kahoot is basically just a game-based learning platform, and it's really exciting for the students and nice and engaging because it uses gaming and trivia on any topic where you can either host, share, or assign a game to your class. And it allows a lot of different question platforms, whether it's a quiz, true, false, or fill in. And you can also, depending on the level of subscription you have, you can add slides and videos can be incorporated into the game to facilitate learning as they're answering the questions. So some of the key features that are available for review and assessment or that allows you to kind of run a pulse check and see how well your students did on a particular quiz or question that you might have. You can also make quick actionable insights, which I like, is that you can see if one particular student is stuck on one question or which questions might be difficult for your class and which ones are having trouble. It gives you a lot of good ways to see insight on how they're progressing with the learning that you've presented in your class. So now let's take a look at Kahoot and the actual reports. Here we go. Okay, so this is actually the reporting screen. So I do have a premium subscription so that it offers me some features you may not see if you have a basic subscription. So this was for one of my computing classes, and this Kahoot was on computer security, ethics, and privacy. And here in the reporting screen, when you go here, it tells me right off that it was well played, that 66% of my students got answers correct. But I like that nice, it says I had 4 questions that were difficult for the students. And I can click here and see which 4 questions they had and see the percentage of people who got it correct when they did the quiz. And you see the one question here, only 10% of my students got that question correct. So it helps me then when we come back from the Kahoot, I can address this topic again to make sure all my students have a better understanding because they didn't understand that they didn't get the question correct. What's also nice is that you can see a breakdown of all your questions with percentages of how well they did. And I like too that you can actually click on the question and I can see my students, which ones had problems with that question. And so you can kind of go through and see, who is having trouble. And if there's a pattern, you can click on a particular student's name. I can go back and I can see how well that student did and where they had problems by looking at the players option. So when you click on players, I can see who finished first in the class. Also, if I scroll down, I can see I had one student who didn't really answer most of the questions. And so I can take a look at that. They essentially had 22 questions that they did not answer. And so that I can reach out to that student, see if there was a problem with their technology is why they didn't answer the questions, or were there, difficulties with the learning or the understanding of how the Kahoot was working. So it makes that this option is really nice because you can really see who was having problems. And I like too, this next tab kind of says who needed help. And so it focuses just on those two students who had the largest amount of unanswered questions, and they only answered 4% correct. And so this is really nice because you can hone in and reach out and find out, what was going on. And then I like that it also tells you this tab, who didn't finish it. And here I see that I had 5 students for this Kahoot that didn't finish it, but 3 of them only had 1 question left, which was pretty good. But then also it shows me these 2 that really didn't take the Kahoot. Sometimes what happens too is that they had a problem logging in and they logged back in again. So sometimes I'll find out that, oh, they didn't answer that one because they had a problem. They logged back in and they answered under another name. So that makes it nice. Under report options here at the top, you can download your report, you can print it, you can actually go and look at the Kahoot that you created for this particular challenge. You can delete it if you don't want it anymore, and then you can look and see if other reports you may have. So if I click on other reports, here's the same challenge, done different dates, and I can kind of compare, from one class to the next. Was there an improvement on them answering the questions, or it was one question just really challenging no matter, which class took it, and I can make adjustments to my presentation on that topic, or also I can make adjustments to the question if the question tended to be unclear for the students. At this point, I'd like to stop. Does anybody have any questions about this, or have you looked at this before? You can post any questions in the chat box if you have any. So now,
how do you get set up? You just go into the website and create an account?
Right, so that's what we're gonna do next is our hands-on portion is to create an account. So if you go to Kahoot.com, there are 3 options. There's an option that comes up automatically to create an account. Now, just a little brief thing, Kahoot now offers accounts for work environment, education, K through 12, and higher education. And also they offer a platform for universities as a whole. But each platform has a free version. But I noticed recently that if you choose higher education, the free version is very limited and you only can allow 10 students to take a quiz at a time. I upgraded mine during the pandemic. I had a really good special going on. It was really cost efficient to a premium account, because with the premium account, that allows you to add videos and PowerPoint slides intermittent of your inside of the quizzes, so that you can actually increase the learning. If it's a topic that I thought was going to be hard, I could put a slide with information before asking the questions about it. So if you go to kahoot.com, I'm going to stop the share now so that you can create an account if you don't have one. And then I'll walk you through any questions and how to quickly do create a Kahoot. Just before you do that, I just want to show that when you go into create your Kahoots, a nice feature they have is that you can search. So you can do discover. I just want to show you that for those who haven't. And you can type in what you're looking for, and you'll find that you don't have to start from scratch if you don't have questions. You can find a topic and you can duplicate that, which makes it really nice. So if I want to do computer operating, and I can kind of take, lots of people have done ones on computer operating systems. So once you find it, you just click on these three little dots and you can duplicate it. And then you can modify the questions, the heading, or any of the media that's in it, and make it your own. And it's a quick way to get started if you don't have questions.
Dr. Hemphill, there's a question. What's the cost of the premium subscription? If you know the cost of the subscription that you have.
Okay, so I'll hop over here. Just have a quick overview of the plans. So, and their plans for higher education. And so here's what they have, and I'll just bring this up. So this is kind of the breakdown of the cost involved. And it's nice because if you want to know what, this is why I ended up going with premium, because I use it a lot and I find it's very beneficial, but it looks like they're going to have a Black Friday deal. So I got in on one of the deals times too. And so that I got a lot of features for less, because for Black Friday, they're going to offer the Kahoot Pro for $60 for a year. But I found that I really wanted to do a lot more things. And here's the breakdown of, just so you know what you get versus. So Kahoot Pro gives you all of this. What I like is that Pro account is that you can import your slides. And what I like is you can bring all your slides in. You can make a small slide deck for your class, bring them in, and then you can put questions in between the slides. So you can present your slide, then they would go, and then go to the next slide would be maybe a Kahoot question. They can answer the question. Then you could go back to teaching, present some slides, and then present questions. That is only, as you can see, at this Kahoot Pro and higher level. But that just makes it really nice. It makes the slide deck more interactive with the students.
Super cool.
Where did you get these prices? Because I've come up with 3 different sheets and none of them have a $5 one.
I just went in. I'll post the link here that I have in the chat box. But I looked for Kahoot for higher education. But I'll put
I didn't do for higher education.
Yeah, because they have like different flavors depending on what you're going to be using for. They have a different price for work versus K through 12 and teams and departments. So they have a lot of different offerings now.
Yeah, and if you sign up for teacher, it then automatically goes to that price page. So you'll see the 5, 15. So
yeah, when you go as educator.
Mm-hmm. Teacher.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dr. Hemphill, first of all, very useful and I love it so far. Can you, for 2 seconds, demonstrate how you can share your slides?
In the Kahoot?
Yeah, in Kahoot. Thank you.
Okay. Let's go to my library. I gotta. Okay, they did that. As you see, I have lots of Kahoots here. Try to find one where.
So those are created for Kahoots for some exercises or your slides for class?
I bring the slides in to the Kahoot.
Okay. Or you can create the folders for each class. Okay.
Yeah, so you see I have different ones for each class when I do the Kahoots here. So I kind of try to keep it organized as to which ones I did for each class. And
next time, don't be surprised. I'm gonna come to your class to see.
Awesome.
And let's take a look at this one. This one, it looks like straight questions. There is one now that I did, not only slides, but a video. Why do I think it's 6:02?
That's okay. I know we have limited time. I don't want to use
time. But I definitely can share. All of my Kahoots are available too. They are shared in the Kahoot community. None of mine are. They're all public.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can bring up any ones and take a look at them. And so now let's just go back over into here. And so now I'd like you to, if you don't have an account, create an account, search for existing Kahoot and attempt to duplicate it, and then edit and review. Once you have it up, you can edit it, review those questions, and then at the end it'll say, are you ready to play it? When you click play, choose a sign, and what that allows you to do, and I'll bring that up on one of mine, it allows you to set a date and a time to keep the Kahoot open. So a lot of times my students don't finish or they wanted to review, I can date stamp it and say that it'll be open till the end of the week and they can go back, and I can post that Kahoot link and game key so that they can continue to practice on their own after the class session.
I have a question.
Sure.
And you might have already answered it, but would you suggest using those also for in-class, like group work or something like that?
Using the Kahoot in class?
Yeah.
I do it as a review a lot of times, so sometimes we do Kahoot right after our introduction to review last week's topics, so that I can make sure especially if this topic is going to build on what we learned in the last session. I'll do a quick maybe 10 question Kahoot and see where my students are. And that way, if they're all getting one question wrong, I'll review that before bringing in a new topic to kind of help bridge them in.
All right, good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dr. Hemphill, this is Nick Mackoff. Now, there's no points or any kind of grades with Kahoot, right?
There are, well, it does a point system. Let me hop back and I'll go back to reports here.
Yeah, I saw 23,000 was maximum in your points.
You can set the points for each question too. You're able to modify that yourself.
Okay.
Right, but does that impact though the final grade though for Westcliff, or are you saying this is independent?
No, I just basically use it for review and
Gotcha.
And learning, and to enhance the learning process.
Got it. Thank you.
But I like to, a lot of times, some of my classes, you have a lot of content and that quiz is coming up and I'm not sure that we have touched everything. I'll build a Kahoot on those topics that they're going to be quizzed on, and I'll make sure that I'll either put in maybe slides with the information so they can go through and make sure that they have been through all the content they need to prepare for the test. Because a lot of times, a lot of my classes, we have so many chapters to cover within 8 weeks.
This is cool stuff.
But it's a really, really great tool. I love it. And I find them a lot of I hear a lot of times this, sometimes the best part of the class that they liked was doing the Kahoots. And see, sometimes they don't do well. So then I have to go back and look at it. You know, they only got 33% of these questions correct.
So you then share the link with the students, and they can just press on the link.
Okay, so I'll go to one and I'll show you how I'll assign it. So say they're gonna do this one again. So this is the Kahoot, and here are all the questions. When I'm ready for the students, you hit play. And with play, you have 2 options. I can do teach mode, where it's live and we're doing it in class, but a lot of times I do assign mode. And this is nice because I can turn off the timer so they're not rushed with each question. I can say how long they have to do it. Most times I'll leave it open for the rest of the week, and it'll be open for the rest of the week for them to review. And here, if you want each student to have a different set of questions, you can randomize the questions for each student when they come in, because you can turn this feature on. So each one, and this one, if players want to practice difficult questions after a live game, you can turn that on, and those difficult questions will still be available. So it gives you a few features when you do assign. So a lot of time I assign it right in class, and this is the great part. If you assign it while class is going on, while they're in it, I can go to reports and watch them answering, and watch who logged in, and watch who might not be. So sometimes I'll chat, are you having problems logging in the Kahoot? Are you having, because some students, I can tell if they're there in the Zoom or not, if they're not, participating, and we went on to this Kahoot and I noticed theirs is sitting at still no questions answered. I can see that live on my side while they're taking the questions.
And Doctor, do the students have to go and just create like a student account or something, or a guest?
No, all they need is a link and a game pin, and that gets generated when you hit create.
Gotcha.
And I'll just hit this so it'll come up. See, so you get a link and a game pin. And
gotcha.
See how it comes on this screen? I leave this screen open. Once I share this link and this pin, I can see the players joining. So I can see all of my students who are actively participating. And then as they answer the questions, I can see how they're doing on the questions.
Super cool.
Do you do live interactions also? Live, you open on the screen, everyone sees everyone's answers?
Yeah, I usually do that towards the end of class because it's fun. And usually I make questions where, it can be competitive. And so I usually do a live one like towards week 7 or 6, just to kind of get the class energized about it. Or if I have some hard topics where I just want to make it more interactive and we can talk about the questions, I like to do that format too, is to do it live, stop, talk about the question, make sure everybody understood, especially if it comes up that a lot of people did not get it correct.
Awesome, thank you.
Nice.
So it's a really, really great interactive platform. As you see, there's lots of ways you can share Kahoot. From Microsoft Teams, it does integrate with Google Classroom. I like that you can make self-paced study. So say you have a holiday class and you want to present something and make sure they went over it, you can add a Kahoot to that at the end. And you can see who took it and who watched your video and if they could answer the questions. So it's a really great way to, get a pulse on the learning.
So, Doctor, so are you able to put in, like, you say YouTube videos that they can watch and answer questions afterwards?
Yes, you can.
Oh, that's even more wicked.
Yeah, you can put in video. You can put in slides. It gives you quite a few ways to create a new Kahoot. And there's my button. So I'll hit create here just so you can see. So here are your options you can choose. You can teach with slides. You can Kahoot for formative assessment. These are templates they have that you can start off with. And you can find ones that other people have done, introducing a blind topic. Or if you kind of know what you want to do, you can just hit create. It gives you this blank format where you can add your questions. And when you add a question, it's several options: quiz, true or false, type in a puzzle, quiz plus the audio, and then there's different options for a poll, a word cloud, is it open-ended, and even brainstorm. So you can do a lot of different things. So it's nice. You can make self-paced study things to reinforce things that might be difficult or might need extra time. And it's pretty quick once you do a couple. I like that you can modify like the publisher slides, find the ones that are good, modify them and bring them in, and then put questions in between those slides. And then sometimes I find little short videos. I had a class, it was a case study that the book talked about, but I found a little video that kind of covered the case, and I was able to add it in a Kahoot and then ask questions about it, and it helped the students kind of understand better. So there's lots and lots of different questions, and what's nice, you can search for a question too. See, if there's a question already out there, if you're looking for something that. So what's nice is that you can poll all the Kahoots that have ever been created that are public on your topic, and you can pull a question from someone else's, from a Kahoot that's already done. So you really don't even have to reinvent the wheel.
Is there training online?
Yes, there's some,
because I'm going to forget all this.
Yes, there's quite a few YouTubes on Kahoot.
Okay, thanks.
And Dr. Hemp, I think this discussion is being recorded, so the link can be shared out, right?
Yes.
Yes, it will be shared actually next week in the Light Center newsletter.
Awesome.
We actually have only 1 minute to go, so if you have any questions for Dr. Hemphill, it's your time to ask away.
Okay.
I'm trying to think, is there anything that Kahoot can't do that you kind of wish it did do, or is there some roadblock?
So far I've found they have really done a lot. They along with the Zoom people have really leveraged their application during the pandemic. They offer, I don't know, a feature that's missing, basically.
Got it. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, they even offer study groups now too for students.
Oh, wow.
Wonderful. Okay, well, are there any questions? Okay.
I have some little comments. When I saw the topic of today's meeting, I said, Kahoot, I know that sticky notes already. What are we going to talk about? So this was awesome, actually. One of the best presentations. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad that I could share, and that this could be helpful to other professors too.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I'm going to definitely use this. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Well, thanks everyone for attending this session. Again, thank you, Professor Hemphill, for facilitating this interesting hands-on webinar. I'm sure that everyone is ready to use Kahoot in their classes. So we encourage you to be sure to take the survey afterwards. I left the links on the chat box, and we're working again really hard to plan and design sessions that are hands-on, practical, so you actually enhance your teaching skills and you help also engaging your students. So thank you so much for attending. Thanks everyone, and have a wonderful rest of the day.
Have a great day.
Thank you very much.
Thank
You too. See ya.
Thank you all.
Bye everyone.